all very predictable. All very predictable, and shouldn't need anybody to tell you. It's all very predictable. First of all, here you have ASAP. And if you weren't aware, Rihanna is 34 years old. ASAP is 33. Rihanna is 34. ASAP is 33. There's your first clue. There's your first sign. If you needed it. Well, what does that mean, Jason? That don't really mean nothing. Are you sure? I don't know. Because it seems like everything just lines up here. You tell me, does this look like the picture of maturity, intelligence, intellect, leadership? Does this look like the person who is going to steer you and your genes towards a better future? You tell me. And folks, YouTube was hating on us tonight, trying to keep the likes down. If you're liking what you're hearing, give me a thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button. Let's go ahead and show them that people, I want the majority of my audience, if you like what you're hearing, hit the likes button tonight. So just so you all can see here, he's walking down here looking like a quilt. A grown man. On the one, he's got to have things hanging off of him. Whether it's purses or coin bags, I guess. I don't know. I guess there weren't enough purses here. He just had to go all out. But I wanted to put this in perspective for you here. This guy is worth less than 1% what she's worth. Just in case you think that 10 million is a lot of money, he's worth less than 1% what she is worth. And you mean to tell me that this wasn't predictable from day one?
You've been over here.
Folks, get it through your heads out there. It doesn't matter how much of a fanboy or fangirl you are, or how desperate you are to see this become reality here. You are dealing with a celebrity key.
They messing with his audio.
Mm-hmm.
You had one job. That was it. And you went up and bet the farm, celebrity Pookie. Nowhere near the neighborhood of your accomplishment. But this was probably the best you could do, because could you imagine Rihanna sitting at the table of somebody with more than a 9th grade level intellect? If she shakes her head too hard, you'll hear her brain, such as it is, rattle around like a golf ball in a coffee can. And when she decided to make a permanent decision after you've gone off here and you got mobbed up with all these people here, and your net worth has risen and you're on the Forbes list of rappers worth over $1 billion, you hit the pinnacle, and this is what you choose to bring home. When you're left by yourself to make your own personal decisions, this is what you choose. 34 years old. And this was the last train leaving. I want you to keep that in mind. She's Rihanna, and at 34 years old, this was the best she could nab. And she's Rihanna. Yeah, after everybody else is done with her, Drake and whatever football team is through, this is the best she could do. We don't say this because it's pleasing to people. We say it because it's reality. Once you reach a certain point, it's going to be all downhill from there, and that's what you get. Now, what I want to deal with here, I want to put it in proper perspective, before I go any further, and I'm going to come back to this point here about net worth. Now, to put this in proper perspective here, Rihanna is 34 years old. The woman who is claiming that ASAP was trying to get her flew out to the Ukraine is a 45-year-old, apparently single mom in Britain. I've been looking for information on the husband. They keep talking about her. They keep talking about her being a mom, but not a word about anywhere about her being married. I have to take it for what it is. I've been looking up that particular information. I haven't been able to find it. If somebody can, go ahead and let me go, but they're more concerned about that. 45 years old. 45. Rihanna is 34. 45 years old and already has 3 children. 45 years old. And she was laughing, talking about her kids were saying, hey, that's ASAP Rocky. They knew who she was. They knew who ASAP Rocky was. She claimed she didn't have any idea. She just knew that there was some guy with a blue check mark and millions of followers. She's got 1,500 followers on Instagram, or at least she did. She's got considerably more now. And a guy on Instagram with millions of followers here now, millions of followers, and that guy is in your DMs. That guy's in your DMs. This is what you end up with, a fellow who has a following in the millions, and yet he's showing up in a ostensibly single mom, British single mom of 3, 45 years old. I don't know what would drive you to do this. There are lessons. This may be painful for some. There are lessons I want you to take from this. What would drive him to do that? Why would he choose to go off and risk that? What would drive him to do that? What is it that this white woman had that Rihanna doesn't have? Oh boy. Well, I'm sure we can argue our way around this. I'm sure we can. I am certain that we can argue our way around this if we work on it well enough. I'm sure we can. I don't know. I'm trying to put my finger on it. What's the difference between Rihanna and this 45-year-old mother of 3? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Can't quite put my finger on it. Can't quite figure it out. I'm working on it. I'm trying. But I don't know. Maybe you all can spot it. Maybe you all can see something I can. Although I did notice one thing here. My man ASAP. It looked like she got a knife, dude. I don't know. She getting big. She looking mammy-ish. She has a blade. I don't know if you want to keep doing this. I don't know if you want to keep tempting fate, brother. You might want to back. I know y'all Caribbean folks there love to be messy, but you might want to back off of that for a minute. She got a blade, bro. She's got a blade. She's got extra weight gain and a net worth of $1.7 billion, but a personal worth of about $50 right now. And the man that she's pregnant by, that fella, is out here doing whatever. But that should be understandable and predictable because you've seen it before. Yikes.
The other one wants a burgundy red one.
You see, there's something to keep in mind in that regard. There's something to keep in mind. Nicki Minaj is 39 years old. Kenny Petty was the last train leaving.
Yeah, the pink.
Net worth of $130 million. And this is what she can get for a net worth of $130 million. This is what Nicki Minaj could get. Some of y'all have property that is worth more than Nicki Minaj's husband. Oh boy. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Some of you own property. There's one or two of you listening to me right now. You own property that is worth more than Nicki Minaj's husband. By the way, I think that number there is grossly overstated. I think it's grossly overstated. However, even if you took this at face value, some of y'all got property worth more than him. And yet, he could get Nicki Minaj. Remember all those years she spent making all those songs about how she don't deal with broke dudes and she's not one of these broke hoes dealing with broke dudes like that? Remember that? All these years she spent making all these songs about that. And this is what she could get. And then when you take a look at the other chick on the other side of town, there's Rihanna. And this is what she could get.
She's
and it's not a good look, no matter how you look at it here. To make matters worse, the text messages that she claims to have shared with the Sun tabloid, as you can see, according to her messages, ASAP is like, hey, would you like to meet in the Ukraine? If I sort it out, so he's trying to use some British lingo, if I sort it out, I could arrange for you to be there when I get there. Oh boy. So ASAP was going all in. ASAP was going all in. I can arrange for that. Now, first of all, here, if this woman is lying, it should be very, very easy to prove that. And you should sue her. Would you like to check and see how quickly the lawsuits are going to show up for that? We'll see. But the next thing you take a look at is that she clearly sits here and says, I can't get to Ukraine. Ha ha. I can't even afford Christmas after lockdown last year. 45 years old. A most likely single mom of 3 in Britain. "45 years old, by the single mom of 3. And guess what she can get in her DMs? Rihanna's man. Rihanna, you got beat by a 45-year... Rihanna, you took an L to a 45-year-old chick who already got 3 kids. What does that tell you about your interactions with ASAP so far? What does that tell you about it? Will someone explain to me how Rihanna takes an L to a 45-year-old? Because there are a whole bunch of you who will sit up here and try to say, well, you know, it's just for these regular chicks out here and whatnot. What I'm telling you is that this is across the board. When I do my program, The Last Train Leaving, I'm doing it for a reason. because I want you to understand what you're really dealing with. And in the modern era today, this is the norm. Rihanna is a $1 billion bust now. Rihanna is getting the same results that every other chick out there with any other is getting. She's getting the same results. This is a man who, he doesn't make a fraction of what she makes. He makes less than a percentage of what she makes. She is not just the financial leader. She is the only real financial presence. He's her damn tag along. And that's the best she could do? Now, before some of you ladies out here get too egotistical about it, by the way, how many of you are living under the same circumstances? You took a look up one day and you squandered all of your value the way that Rihanna squandered hers. Let's be very, very clear. Rihanna has, when she was talking about work, 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 she was what, still in her 20s back then? That was the time to cash out. She didn't do it, or she wasn't smart enough to, or she told herself it didn't matter what the caliber of man was. It doesn't really matter. I'll pick up the freight. Let me explain something to you for those of you who are in denial. Ladies, if your man makes less than you, I'm talking about significantly less than you, and he doesn't aspire for more, he's not getting up every day, moving things and making that happen, just understand one of you is going to become very disinterested in the other. Ladies, you can have a man who makes less than you, and just understand the fact that he makes less than you is going to generate contempt. You might be telling yourself, well, I'm safe because I got Pookie sitting here and he doesn't really have any better options, but I'm safe. I'm safe financially. Yeah, but understand he's sitting there the whole time and he's gaining contempt for you because he knows. Every day you walk through the door, he knows. He knows his intrinsic value is less than yours. He knows you have him at a disadvantage. He knows it. So even if you are one of the desperate females who you're perfectly okay with that, just understand your man isn't. You know why? It's a very simple reason why. Because if you are a woman who has more money than your man, more capability than your man, then by definition you have dominance. Oh boy, I'm going to get in so much trouble here tonight. They're trying to keep my likes down. I guess they're not liking what I guess some folks are not liking what I'm saying here tonight. They're trying to keep my likes down. Folks, if a woman makes more money than her man, she's got dominance. She's got dominance. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the man necessarily has to, quote unquote, be weak, but the bottom line is she's in a dominant position, and there's a reason why females who are in a higher socioeconomic strata will choose a deficient male because she wants a man she can dominate. Here's the problem. Men who are easily dominated are men of low character. Oh, what the hell? Mic drop. Men who are easily dominated, men who allow a woman to dominate them, are men of low character. You can't trust them. You might be able to, quote unquote, dominate him financially or socially, but you can't trust him. If you were able to dominate him, then understand he just travels from one place to another, looking for another woman to dominate him. You will never be safe. You'll never be safe. And Rihanna squandered almost $2 billion in net worth. She squandered it because now her genes are forever linked to this degenerate. Her genes are linked to him. He is a part of the equation, and he doesn't raise her value in any way. At least Kanye raised Kim Kardashian's value. How does ASAP raise Rihanna's value? Even if he doesn't have the income, does he have the status? Does he have the image? Does he exude that Denzel Washington confidence? Does he at least have the aesthetics that he belongs in the room with people who can make somebody worth $1 billion? Does he exude that? Hell no. Does Kenny Petty give the appearance, the air, the behavior, the mentality, the affectations of being worth that? No, when you choose someone who is easily dominated, you have squandered your value. You've squandered it. And that's the reason you have some of these single moms out today, because this is the female culture. They now look for a male they can go dominate. And the males who can be dominated cannot be trusted. Let's be very, very clear about that. As men, we understand that. We understand that as men. As men, we understand that we can't trust a dude who's easily dominated. We can't trust that fella. He's going to be the first one to flip. When you watch TV shows like The First 48, who are the dudes? They bring him in the interrogation room. This Negro is sitting up here. He's shaking like a leaf. All they had to do was give him a pack of cigarettes and a honey bun, and he's snitching on the whole damn hood. He's snitching on the whole damn block. Crimes they didn't even ask. Crimes they aren't even investigating. He's volunteering information. Yeah, you know, little Mike over there, he shot Junebug here 5 years ago. Oh, really? That was a cold case. Can you go ahead and give us some more information? You might want to take a look at Lil Mac over there, too, as a matter of fact, yeah. See, as men, we understand that. We understand that you can't trust a weak male. We understand you can't trust a dominated male. We understand that. We don't fool with fellas who are easily dominated on the job. You get the little weak fella. You get the little dude switching his hips, walking down the hall. You get the little fella who's sitting up here looking for somebody to snuggle up under for protection. We don't trust him. We already know, oh, you gonna snitch. We already know you're going to tell. You're going to be the first one to just sell everybody out. That's what you have to do to survive. That's what you have to do. All they got to do is get him some chicken McNuggets and a Pepsi, and he's sitting there skinning, grinning, and snitching. As men, we understand this, but the women think they invite this kind of thing up next to them, and all it can end in is ruin. Let me try this a different way. Can you tell me what is the positive of Rihanna's name being out here like this? What is the positive? Where is the positive aspect of her name being out here like this? This man is supposed to be your damn representative. He is supposed to be your masculine representative. And yet, walking in the damn door, you knew there was nothing masculine about him. You see, you're walking around. Here's another danger right here. Being a female who is wandering the earth with a childlike intellect and a childlike level of maturity. Beware females who give off childish airs. It's one thing to have a chick who dances at the club. Watch out for chicks who dance in their living rooms, okay? Watch out for chicks who just dance in random places. That's one thing for your 5-year-old daughter to do it. When your 35-year-old girlfriend is doing it, okay, watch out for that. Beware a female who's got a childish affectation to her, because she's going to walk headlong into danger. She's going to keep trouble around. And now Rihanna's name is dirty in the streets now. Rihanna's name is dirty in the streets. And based on what? In the chat room, bad press is still press. Well, you know bad press. They say there's no, all publicity is good publicity. That's if you have a product to sell. There's no product being sold here. That's the problem. All publicity is good publicity when there's a product being sold. But there's no product being sold. Just your name. That's it. And because Rihanna squandered her value, she had almost $2 billion in value. And she cashed it all in on this lout who is now literally running up on shape, 45-year-old, about to, age all the way out. But Rihanna's almost $2 billion in net worth was able to get a man who was like, yeah, if I could cash you in right now, I'd do it. He couldn't even wait till she dropped the load. Folks, he couldn't even wait until she dropped the load. He's like, well, you just sit over there, big dumb and pregnant. Let me see if I can fly a kite to your replacement. Let me see if I can fly a kite to your replacement. Your replacement who is so broke that she's literally saying, I can't go to Ukraine. I can't even afford Christmas after lockdown last year. Because these text messages, I think, were like in December. She's talking about she can't afford Christmas because of 2020. It was 2021, and she still couldn't afford Christmas a year later. And that was good enough. This was good enough. Do you still think it doesn't matter the quality of man that you have? Do you still think it doesn't make a difference? Do you still think that you'll be okay no matter what? Do you still think that your name doesn't mean anything? Because here's the problem here, folks. For anybody talking about, well, it's good publicity or whatever, it's good publicity if the man is worth more than you. Yeah, it's good publicity if he's worth more than you. If you're a chick on Instagram and you're dating an NBA player, well, yeah, I guess it's good publicity if he's worth 100 times more than you. Well, yeah, I guess it is. What if he's worth 1% of what you're worth? Now what? Is it still all good? Is it still all good publicity? Even if he's worth only 1% of what you are, is it still good? I'm asking a basic question here. Is it still good? And while these celebrities do indicate extreme examples to a certain extent, they're far from isolated examples, because I'm telling you right now, the average female professional in America, many of you have made the same decisions. If you are a single mom, you've made the same decisions. Can you just be honest there? You bet the farm. You bet the farm on a fella who ultimately is going to help you squander your value. Ladies, if you're looking for a man to help destroy your value, there's no shortage of them. There are plenty of them out there who will have no problem helping you annihilate your value. If you as a woman do not recognize what your value is, if you have no respect for it, no regard for it, no protection for it, then just understand there are plenty of dudes who will sit up here and pat you on the hand and comfort you and soothe your concerns and make you perfectly happy and comfortable, destroying you. They'll be perfectly fine doing that to you if you're willing to give that all up. The reason why I'm bringing this up here is because it's hard to get where Rihanna is. It's hard. Hell, for those of you, if you're a female listening, and it's not that many of you. But by the way, if you're a female listening here right now tonight, you know how damn hard it is for you to make $60,000? When you take a look at the average income for black women, for example, do you know how hard it is for a black woman to make $60,000? That's double the median income for black women. Do you know how hard it is to be a black woman who makes $60,000? Just 60. I didn't say 100, just 60. All right, now how hard is it to be a black woman who's able to be worth $1 billion? How much harder is that for you to be able to pull that off? That takes a lot of damn work. That's hard as hell. That ain't easy. That's Herculean. That's major. And I can respect that level of work, no matter how she did it, whether or not she was doing something strange for some change or whatever. Hey, I'm not here to judge that part tonight. I'm like, okay, baby, however you did it, there was a whole bunch of them who were doing the same Harvey Weinstein thing you might have been doing, but somehow you were able to get a whole lot more equity out of the game. I can't do anything but say, hey, well played. Well played. Yeah, it's very well played right up until we get to this part. So this is what you do with $2 billion worth of worth? Rihanna has, for those of you who don't know, Rihanna has been designated a national hero? She's been designated a national hero in Barbados. She's been christened a national hero there. This is what your national hero is worth. A$AP Rocky can get a national hero from Barbados. A$AP Rocky can do that. This is how Rihanna squandered her value. This is how she destroyed it. Because understand, whether she likes it or not, A$AP is going to be the last train leaving. You know why? You tell me the man who is worth $1 billion, who is going to want to be with the creator of Fenty after this. You tell me the man who's going to want to follow up with the creator of Fenty after this. You tell me who is sitting up here waiting to follow up with the high quality of man that she's had after this. You tell me the man who's going to be willing to extend himself. He's got a net worth of $1 billion, $1.5 billion of real money, not that fake stuff she got. You tell me the fellow who's going to want to follow up after this with her literally carrying around. She's going to be literally carrying around the Saps baby in a stroller. That's the question you need to ask. Who is the man who is actually worth that kind of money who's going to do that? In the chat room there now, I want Kimya and Sugar Man. I want y'all to give me a call up here. That's very interesting. I want you to go ahead and give me a call up here. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business. And I want Sugar Man and Kimya to give me a call up here. I would like for them to expound a bit more on what they said here in the chat room. She doesn't need a man. There's a whole bunch of men worth $1 billion who would love to follow up. You need to take a moment here to educate me about that. I want to find out exactly how that works. I want to find out how that works. Because when I told everybody what was going to happen to Kim Kardashian after she divorced Kanye, some folks were saying the same garbage. Oh, she gonna get a billionaire. Same thing they were saying about Mariah Carey. Yeah, those folks are real quiet now. You can't find any of those. Don't worry, Kim Kardashian is going to have another guy worth $1 billion. You can't find any of those people today. Yeah, because I had to let those folks know that, by the way, for anybody thinking she's going to do that, they're going to have a heavy load to pull. When they back up in the driveway, yeah, they're going to have a heavy load to pull. You can't have no Range Rover here, but you better bring an Expedition or an Excursion. And all the coupons you can find for Chuck E. Cheese, you don't need them. That was our request. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. My man Jay Freeman Blackman, we appreciate you here, brother. Jafar Kazim, Mr. Ratzinger, thank you very much for your support here tonight. Divine Feminine, calm down. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines here. The earlier you call in, the better. I'm going to be looking for the two of y'all, too, by the way, here. I'll be looking for you, fellas. So we are waiting. We are waiting here. What is Kenya's area code? He's talking about he's on the line. He didn't put his area code in the chat room. He needs to. If he doesn't do it here within the next minute, he's going on vacation. Caller from area code 312. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling
from? It's Kenya, calling from Chi-Town, Chicago.
Kenya from Chicago. And you stated that Rihanna doesn't need a man.
She didn't have one, like, she didn't marry him. I don't know what the fuss is about. And I appreciate your show tonight, but it's like, she's been an independent woman. She started her business at 15. She got with Jay-Z and Beyonce. She diversified her market. She's super duper rich. She's only one person with her family. She likes him as a friend. She got him as a boyfriend. She got a baby by him. She can afford her one child. What is the problem except for men being jealous?
Okay. What does a woman need a man for, in your opinion?
Well, she has.
Okay, slow down, ma'am. I'm asking you. What does a woman need a man for, in Kim's opinion?
Say that again, sir.
What does a woman need a man for, in Kimya's opinion?
In my opinion, I need a partner and someone who loves me equally.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, could a partner be another female?
No, it could be a man. Did you say man? Where's the female?
Yes, I said man. I said a man, and you said I need a partner. Let me try this again.
A man could be
what does a woman need a man for, in your opinion?
As a partner, life partner.
Okay, to do what? What makes a man special in a woman's life that she needs him?
That we both satisfy each other's needs.
Okay, I asked you what makes him special, ma'am. You're doing real bad right now, but you are proving my point, so thank you very much. We appreciate that. Ma'am, you haven't told me what you need the man for. You're talking about in dualities. What is it that makes him unique and special as a man? Because if you're going to say it can't be if you're going to say that it can't be a woman, it has to be a man, then what is it that makes a man special and needed in your life, separate from a woman?
Because a man can be a very good partner for your life.
How?
I mean, like if you're both on the road, you're taking a drive in the car. We're going a long distance. We're both going to take the wheel.
Okay, what makes him better than a woman to have? What makes him better than a woman to have as your partner in that position?
Because he's not a woman. He would want a man.
Why? Why a man? Why a man and not a ma'am? Again, I'm asking you. Why would you, Kimya, not Rihanna, you, why would you prefer to have a man instead of a woman as a partner?
Okay, so now we're changing the subject.
No, ma'am. I said the same thing the whole time. You're just not listening very well. I said, Kimya, you tell me does a woman need a man for? Why does Kimya say that? So no, ma'am, you're just not very good at listening.
Okay,
I said from the beginning, why do you say that? Yes, ma'am, but you're the one who said that she doesn't need a man. I'm asking you, why do you think a woman needs a man? What do you think she needs a man for?
And I said a partner for life. She didn't squander her value though.
But you didn't tell us why she needs a man as a partner. Why does a woman need a man as a partner?
She chose.
No. Why does a woman need a man as a partner, ma'am?
The same reason a man needs a woman as his partner.
Okay, so you're saying that women do the same thing for men that men do for women?
I'm saying the needs can be met between men and women. They work it out.
Okay, ma'am, are you saying if men don't do the same thing for women that women do for men, then that means you need a man for something special? No, ma'am, you're just talking in banalities, ma'am. You're not actually answering anything that's been said. You were asked what makes a man unique.
Okay, well, your topic tonight is about squandering her value.
No, ma'am. You said that she doesn't need a man. So if you're going to claim that a woman doesn't need a man, ma'am, if you're going to claim, okay, then you have to tell us what, ma'am, if you're going to say that she doesn't need a man, simply what you're trying to say, foolishly, is that she doesn't need a man because, well, she's got money. A man doesn't make that, ma'am, a man doesn't serve just the purposes of finances. Doesn't a man have value beyond that?
No, but that's what you're trying to do.
So no, okay, you said no, he doesn't? Well, you said no, he doesn't? So a man doesn't have value beyond money?
No, but I say you're twisting my words.
I'm twisting your words by repeating them. Okay. I'm twisting your words by repeating them?
She didn't squander her value. She still got her money.
Okay, so a woman's money gives her value?
Well, that's what you're talking about.
No. You just said it. You just said, well, she's got her money. So what you're saying is
she didn't squander her value by being with him.
So her value is her money?
Her value, who she is. Everybody still loves Rihanna except for you, maybe.
That wasn't what I asked. It's not about the general public in her personal life. You said having a man as a life partner. Shouldn't your man actually be able to do what a man's supposed to do, although you haven't defined what a man is supposed to do?
Right, and how do you know that A$AP's not doing what he's doing?
Okay, tell me, what do you think a man's responsibilities with a woman are?
It's personal within the relationship.
Okay, ma'am, that's not, okay, I'm asking you what you think it is.
Whatever I need, and if he agrees to...
Okay, whatever I need, okay, ma'am, whatever I need is not an answer. Give me an example. Give me a specific example.
Honey, can we watch Waiting to Exhale instead of the basketball game? Sure, dear. Let's watch it together. Honey, do you mind if I take the car tonight? Go right ahead. I'll use the bike. I don't want nobody yelling and screaming and arguing. We got a good agreement, a good partnership.
Okay, ma'am. That's okay. Those are not male-female prerogatives. You're talking about because somebody changed remote control.
Oh, you want to get into the male-female thing, and instead of saying heart to heart.
Ma'am, it's not about...
Men and women have their own relationships. We need to stay out of their business.
Kimya, how old are you?
How old are you?
Kimya, last try. How old are you?
Why, if I say 10, you would believe it.
Okay, no, I would not believe that. But the very fact that you don't want to say because what you're showing is there's no fool like an old fool. And I want the young people to recognize that when they hear that. To all the females in their 20s, if you want to see what a bust-down single mama from Chicago talks like, if you want to know why it is she ended up in this situation sitting at the bus stop on the west side, if you want to know how that happened, just hearing this phone call of banality and talking in insane circles, that she's asked simple questions, she refuses to say what a man's supposed to be for, and that's the reason she doesn't have one and nothing else happening for her. That's the reason. So Kimya, get off the phone. Hang up now. Your
You
time.
get off the fucking phone.
Well, she started getting nuts again, so you see what happened there. I had to let her go. She got rude. You can't have that. Folks, okay, my haters are trying to keep my likes down tonight. If you're liking the program here, it's been crazy old grandmas are hating it, so they're keeping the likes down. But for the folks who do like it, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the like button. She was asked a very simple question there. What is a man for? Well, he's there to change the remote control. And if you want to take a bicycle, what the hell is this? Reading Rainbow and Sesame Street? What the hell? Shout out Veronica in the super chat. I see you there, Big Red. Let me get caller from area code 701. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Kevin Jackson calling from North Dakota. How you doing today, Jake?
Okay, Kevin, from where at in North Dakota?
Carrington.
All right, what's on your mind?
You know, you got to remember, Rihanna, she's a P.O.P and Ray female. So she gonna get what she get. You know what I mean? Guys that ran up in that before she got married. Who's gonna marry her? Matter of fact, she had a billionaire boyfriend before A$AP Rocky. What happened with that? So she gonna get what she get. You know? Her value system then went down. Before him,
Well, certainly, she certainly had a lot more negotiating and bargaining power when she was 28, when she was 27. She had a lot more than she does now. So while she certainly had, she had a pick of it then. So
went all up in her.
Well, I
got a
mean,
bad reputation.
Right,
With the guy.
But she didn't start that way.
That's what happened to her.
I mean, but she didn't start that way. She didn't start that
Yeah,
way.
true.
She earned this the old-fashioned way. She earned it. And now she's 34 years old, basically a single mom. If she does drag this Negro down the aisle, it'll be the dumbest thing you could do. Because you don't have a man. You have a juvenile delinquent.
The only way she can come out of this is he change. He got to change his whole personality, his whole makeup, his whole go around. If A$AP Rocky can change, it can turn into something positive, and she just got to spend some money on him to make him change. Make him start a business or make him go into management or something. Make him more of an acceptable person in the eyes of society than what we see in front of us right now. Make that nigga put some scoops on.
Okay. What you're saying can work wonderfully for a working class guy. A$AP Rocky, unfortunately, is no longer inhabiting the working class world. He's a grown man who is now able to choose whatever color of purse, handbag, coin purse, or stockings that he would like to have. So, in other words, he doesn't have as much money as her, but unfortunately, she doesn't have enough leverage to get him to change because he has enough money that there are plenty of scalawag females below him, and he's willing to dumpster dive in order to get them. Case in point, would you ever have thought that of all the women he could have chosen, he's chosen a 45-year-old single mom to slide in her DMs? Of all these females who are in his DMs, and the one he chose was a white woman with 3 kids already. That's what he chose.
And she don't look like shit.
I mean, she's all painted up. And, yeah, her face has been all marked up by the Sherwin-Williams people. But the real thing is well, yeah, it does, but this is the man she chose in that regard. And what I'm saying is that you don't have the ability to influence somebody like that. Because what you're talking about is character. And if A$AP actually had that type of character, it would be different. But he doesn't. That's the problem. He doesn't.
Okay. Well, she ain't for lost then. That's all I can say.
Here's my problem.
She can't change that. And he's not willing to change, then it's over.
Do you all recognize here? Do you all recognize that we are probably literally looking at Fenty on its way to becoming the next Madam C.J. Walker?
Oh, yeah.
Think about that
That's
for
what
a
he
few
should be looking
moments.
at. If he was a smart man,
Well,
he should be doing everything he can to change, to uphold her and uphold his character and his name.
you have to
Take it to the
value
next
it.
level.
You have to value it.
You know,
And
that's the problem.
ultimately, what you said would work.
You're not looking at the.
Well, what you said works great for a guy who has aspirations. What you said works great for him. This guy aspires to have colorful shoes and colorful purses. It just won't work for him. But it would work for somebody else. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get call from area code 216. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing, my brother? My name is Eric. I'm from Cleveland.
Eric from Cleveland, and what's on your mind?
Yeah. So, what you were asking the female a moment ago, a man's role is to provide. A man's role is to provide the home. He's supposed to pay the bills, work. That's a man's man. That's what a man is. We provide for our family. Now, in the sense of you and I think you're absolutely right. When she got with him, she done took herself. She took herself by getting with this man out of those billion-dollar meetings. You gotta remember this. I mean, you gotta think. A$AP Rocky is running around with Tyler, the Creator. I mean, there's 1,000 pictures on the internet of them doing gay, homosexual things, playing with each other, painted nails. And I think you're absolutely correct when you said the aspirations. The man, he has to want to change. He's in a position already where he has enough money. He doesn't need to change in his own mind. So, she done downgraded herself because she didn't go get a king. She, excuse my language when I say this, my brother's girl, they always had the conversation because she was one of those Cardi B girl, bad bitch, and he would always tell her, are you a queen or a bad bitch? Because you can't be both. And it's the same exact situation here. When you place yourself, you are what you say you are. You are the company you keep. You hang around thieves, you are a thief. So you have a queen and a king and a queen, and she was a queen, and now she's putting herself back into a peasant's role in the sense of she's downgraded because he wants to be a killer. Because I was born and raised in New York. I live in Cleveland, and he's not that guy, but he's playing the role. So okay, that's what he wants. So she took herself out in billion-dollar meetings to be with this man. Okay, you done took it. You spend years, all that is going to be gone because she wants to play the role with him.
She's young. She's 34 years old. She's been given for most black folk, which is a once in a millennium opportunity. And
Yes,
as far as I'm concerned, effectively, she's already wasted it. And I've always lived in mind that this whole Fenty thing is part of a 360 deal. She's denied it, but then again, the only way you can really get the truth out is if somebody investigates it or files a suit or something. But I've always lived in mind that, Beyonce couldn't pull it off, Kanye couldn't pull it off, but little old Rihanna did. Sounds like the beneficiary of the 360 deal is what it is, and she's just the name that gets licensed for it. But even still, that's still a major accomplishment to have. And what I'm saying is it's a damn shame that you can already see the writing on the wall that the day is going to come where she is divorced from the very brand that she created because she's showing all the signs that she lacks the responsibility to actually see how valuable it really is. A woman in this position, she's supposed to have a dude. She's supposed to make sure, hey, I got to have a dude's on my level, period. And here's the problem. That's exactly what she got. She water seeks its own level instead of her saying, you know what, let me get myself, I can't change A$AP or anybody else. Let me change me. Let me get me together. And so that these men on a higher level who keep throwing me back in the water and saying, yeah, you're not good enough, let me get myself together so that I actually qualify for them. She instead said, yeah, let me just go ahead and grab the low-hanging fruit. Let me get something easy. He's a little weak dude. He's easily dominated. He won't fight me. Well, he won't fight me for child support. Compared to me, I'm a juggernaut. So he's no threat to me. He's no threat to me. He's no threat to me. Yeah, but he's also no help to you either.
My man, my brother, yes. At his exact point. She devalued her own self. So her self-worth in her own mind, she done showed you. And that's to do with the 360. Come on, she signed to a person who signed to a person. Even with the so that shows you the 360 deal right there. So absolutely correct. And I love what you said about Beyonce couldn't do it. Kanye could do it. What makes us think that she could? I love that you just said it. showed you that he didn't want it. So you get it's the typical in our with black and brown people in our neighborhood. These females, they can change a man. They can change a man, and when you don't change, then he becomes and it's that typical situation. She devalued herself. She showed you. Real quick, is Elon Musk going to invite A$AP Rocky with her to a meeting, to a $1 billion meeting?
Well, at this point here, he won't be inviting her either. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a call from area code 678. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling
from? Yes, my name is Dino. I'm calling out of Atlanta.
Dino out of Atlanta. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. When I think about Rihanna, I don't even think about it until I look at the ramifications for just for regular women that's listening, that's looking and listening. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at her situation like it's bad for her, because it's not. Like you said, she's a billionaire. I ain't got $1 billion. I can't look at her. I can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people have reached that height. So she can do whatever she wants to do. Her children will probably be all right. I mean,
probably.
Even if she's.
I mean, are you hearing?
She's a little.
Here's my thing: are you hearing the terms you're saying? How in the hell can it be that your worth? Now, worth doesn't mean she actually has $1 billion. She does not. But you're talking about worth. One day, possibly, you could translate to. So don't get worth confused with wealth. But that's certainly a very good position to be in, to be worth that kind of thing. But here's the problem: we're not supposed to be talking about your kids might be okay. We're supposed to be talking about they're all the way set. And we can't say that because the mama's such an obvious damn screwball that we're looking at the situation. If she is silly enough to let A$AP Rocky into her personal circle, and now his world-class foolery is hitting front pages and making her look silly, what makes you think that these white folk are not going to be able to get that company out from under her just as easily?
Well, I mean, they might can get it from up under her, but still, she's still in a very good situation. They can't.
Sir, okay, you just refuted yourself, brother. You just refuted yourself. They might can get it out from up under her, but she's in a very good situation. What? She could lose everything she got, but she's in a very good situation, brother. Are y'all listening to yourselves?
I mean, all right. So look, for instance, we got onto Cosby. People got onto Cosby because they said he kind of turned his back on black people or whatever, Black America, right? But and they arrested him. They put him through the runners, right? But did they break him? Did they take everything from him? No. They ruffled his feathers, and he's already on his way out anyway. And the thing is, that's what they do. They ruffle your feathers. If you have enough paper, you all right. And she's in a situation to where she's got the connections, she's got the influence to where she's all right. And then everything that she's doing with Fenty is.
But brother, here's the difference. Brother, here's the difference. The difference is they came after Bill Cosby at 80. Rihanna is now showing the cracks around the frame at 34. She won't get to 80.
I think she'll be fine. Because she's doing
define fine. Okay, define fine.
I think she's gonna look. I think her business is gonna maybe quadruple before they actually come for her. She's gonna be worth. They'll have her quoted as being worth $5 billion, $8 billion. I guarantee it, because look, we're going into a recession. The masses need the nullification. They need to be stupefied. These women, they love the makeup, they love the product, and she's doing everything. She is the stereotypical black baby mama, negative characteristic that they want. She's the negative diatrope that they want.
But okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem with what you're saying. 10 years ago, we didn't have Fenty, and we certainly didn't have this powerhouse it is before Sephora picked it up. If they made Fenty, what makes you think they can't make another one just as quickly?
Hey, that sounds like what Dane said to Jay, dog.
Okay, but Jay-Z was a little bit more creative. Rihanna's not really the person who made this, and we know that. So why, if the machine built Rihanna, why can't the machine build another one just as easily when it desires?
It's not that easy.
You don't think it's that easy?
It's not that easy. She's rolling on umbrella. She's working like you said earlier. Work. She built an empire with hit records. She came with some flavor that these white people, they can try to manufacture artists. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole Drake argument that he's a manufactured artist created by the Jewish community and so on and so forth. You have these type of conspiracy theories out here and so on. And, you had that out there, and she might be a creation by the white powers that be. But the fact is that how many other people have they tried to create that are not here today? You know what I'm saying? They're trying to destroy Kanye. Every shot they take at Kanye, for some he finds a way out of it. You know what I mean? Like the dude is.
Brother, here I understand what you're saying, but like I say, definitely it's not a good position to be in, especially when the problems you're seeing are coming from the inside. These are internal issues. Nobody brought this from the outside. Everything on the outside is okay. The problems we see is squandering the value internally. And she's always going to be an element then. Because if the problem is she's not a good judge of character of the people who are closest to her, she's got a good many more years to continue making even worse decisions. That's the problem. At her age, she's got a long runway to make even more horrible decisions, way worse than this going forward. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 630. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
In her personal circle, and now is world-class.
Caller from 630 is listening to us. She can call back when she's finished. Caller from area code 305. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 305 is sitting on the beach somewhere. Caller from area code 424. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Tim, and I'm calling from Los Angeles.
Hello, Tim from Los Angeles. And what is on your mind?
Well, I listen to your show often, and I think that you are a great authority, especially when it comes to white supremacy and things like that. But sometimes, going back to the caller of the other young woman, I think you're not as kind or understanding of Black love. I think you are really hard on Black women. Case tonight, Rihanna. And I think that, you have to give it up. This woman is quite talented, and she's been very successful in the world of business. Yeah, she may not have made the right decision when it comes to relationships and love. But I think that as a people, that's something we're struggling with.
Wow.
And I think we have to look at how can we be more encouraging? How can we start putting out more positive vibes and saying, hey, you know what, maybe just kind of offer some words of encouragement. And
How about words of truth? How about that one? Why is it you don't care about? Okay, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Why is it that, ma'am? Why is it, ma'am? We're not gonna talk over the host. We're not gonna do that. Take your meds. We don't talk over the host here. I know you do that at church when you're fighting with the other little old ladies. We don't do that here. This isn't your dog park. So let's not act like a savage. Now, why is it that you went on this childish rant about, well, we should be understanding? Okay, why is it you didn't prioritize understanding the truth? Why is it that doesn't matter to you?
Well, you know what? The truth is so subjective. And just because one person thinks of something as true doesn't necessarily make it true.
Okay, what's true is that she is squandering what she's got, and she has attracted a man who is making her value go down. That's not in question.
Right, I would agree with that.
Okay, then you don't have then you don't have a point, because everything you said at the beginning of this call, you just said that it's nullified.
My point is that I just feel like that instead of criticizing her for that,
it's not, ma'am.
Something out there that's encouraging.
Ma'am, no, that's your opinion. Ma'am, that's your opinion.
For the listener.
Ma'am, that's your okay. Ma'am, The takeaway is you can learn from the mistakes of other people as opposed to your own.
Well, no, what am I going to learn?
Okay, ma'am, I will say this, ma'am. First of all, the Big Mama Thornton thing yelling, you need to calm down. You need to stop, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, you need to stop yelling and screaming, and you need to calm down.
I am calm.
Ma'am, you are not. You sound like a mental patient. Calm down. This is not this is not the Thanksgiving party at y'all's house where you sit up here and yell at each other across the table. Calm down. Don't drink the cognac before you call. Calm down. There's no need to yell and scream like a lunatic. It doesn't make your point any more valid. It's not valid, period. Yelling isn't going to make it more valid.
I just think that you should.
Ma'am, that was not your cue to start talking. Ma'am, that was not your cue to start talking, ma'am. I'm gonna turn your volume off, ma'am. That was not your cue to start talking. You talk too much and you don't listen at all. That was not your cue to start talking. Just because we're here to teach people from mistakes. It's a very disturbing emotional problem you have when you have a problem with people teaching from mistakes. Because in life, that's how we teach things. We see what was done right, we see what was done wrong. We examine where people made mistakes so that those who have not made those mistakes yet can learn from it. An egotistical, egomaniacal, fragile individual goes around saying crazy things like, you shouldn't talk about people's mistakes. That's what an egomaniac does, who wants to pretend that they're perfect. And that kind of person is dangerous. We should teach from mistakes.
You're talking to a certified teacher.
Ma'am, I'm talking to a certified fool. And no, I told her to stop talking over the host, so send her on her way. But do you all understand, is these old women calling in tonight? Did you all understand that? The old women are calling in, they're loud, they're cantankerous, they're yelling, they're screaming, and they are completely devoid of accountability. They don't want to discuss accountability at all. She didn't do anything to disprove what we said. Why is it you got to talk about all these ugly truths? Because what she's doing is ugly and we need to stop it. Yeah, but you need to encourage it. I'm not encourage stupid behavior. Well, you'll hurt their feelings. Maybe that'll stop the stupid behavior. Because you got to understand, if you want to know the reason why it is you have the single mother epidemic that you do today, if you want to know why that is, it's because these old hoes, like the chick who just got off the phone and the one from Chicago, these old hoes sit around with the young females and encourage the young females to train wreck their lives. They like to see the young females fail. The young women, y'all better understand, these old hoes, they want to see you fail. They want to see you fail, and they will sit there and pat you on the head. Why did you got to do it? Ain't nothing wrong with what you did, knowing full well that they're leading you to the road to ruin, but they want company where they are. Because you notice what these old hoes don't have around them? A man. Did you notice that? None of the old biddies who called up tonight have a man with them. And they don't. They can't even define A, what a man is, B, what a man does. Nothing at all. But they're going to sit here with their jughead crown on, drinking from the old E and the Crown Royal bottle there, and they sit up here in their liquored up state calling up, talking about what the women don't need. Let's be very, very clear. Rihanna should have had somebody saying this years ago, getting her ass straight. Britney Spears lost control of her life because white society was like, okay, you gonna mess up the bag. We're gonna stop that from occurring. But you notice there wasn't anybody who jumped up and did that for Rihanna. Yeah, that's the plan. We recognize that you are fatally immature, and there are plenty of old biddies who will sit around and encourage you in this nonsense. They'll encourage you into doing it, but none of them are going to come save you or help you when it's over. And take a look at that. She got on the phone and she's acknowledging that what Rihanna's doing is wrong, but you shouldn't say anything about it. Friends like those. Friends like those. That's the sisterhood today. The sisterhood used to protect each other. Now the sisterhood works to undermine and destroy each other. Yeah, you got $1 billion, but you gonna be all right. And when Rihanna screws around, has a bunch of bastard kids, and messes off all the damn money, these same old hoes will come up with, you should have did something different. You shouldn't have got me. That nigga A$AP Rocky, he wasn't no damn good to begin with. You should have made a better choice. Those old hoes be the first ones sitting here kicking your ass when you go down. They'll be the first ones saying what you shouldn't have done. But right now, when they think that you're saying, oh, okay, we got to drag you down, we'll go ahead and tell you whatever you want to hear. You see, this is no different than telling somebody with a drug habit that people are being negative. Yeah, your drug habit is negative. Your drug habit is negative. There's nothing positive about having a drug habit. Yes, your drug habit is negative. It damn sure is. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Shout out to DJ W here and Son of Go. Thank you very much for contributing to tonight's program. Let me get call from area code 404. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, everyone.
Call from area code 414. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Paul. Are you talking to me?
When you heard it say unmuted, yes, that was you.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I have to agree with what you're saying. The problem that I have, and I've been seeing this especially since the Reagan Bush administration, and I was taught coming up in Chicago that they, old timers used to tell me that when I was a young, well, really a little kid, and they would say that there's nothing free in America but the black woman and the white man. And you see that now, you see that with what's her name being elected even before the white women and whatnot. And really, during the 80s, we got a lot of these women that followed the feminist movement, which is a lesbian movement. And they're one of the girls from Crimson something. She's from Chicago. But anyway, she calls them gynocrats and whatnot. You got so many of these women got feminist moves and whatnot, movements, well, thoughts, I should say. They want to act like men, but they don't want to take the responsibility that men take. And plus, they're the ones who raising these type of boys that get mad and gonna shoot somebody as soon as things don't go right. Can't have nobody that, like men used to do, fight. People talk about you and you just take it and move on and whatnot. These guys get upset and just staring at him and whatnot. So they're raising up these boys that have feminist attitudes and whatnot and get mad at little things.
Well, I mean, if you have a raggedy, defiant female who can't be told anything, then what she's going to do is raise raggedy, defiant boys who can't be told anything. And the only thing you can do with a man who can't be told anything is do something to him. If you can't talk to him, then you do something to him. And that's all you can do. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 469. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is AJ from Dallas.
Take your phone off.